Jersey's External Affairs Minister will meet French fishermen after dozens of French boats staged a protest in a dispute over post-Brexit fishing rights. Two Royal Navy vessels, HMS Seven and HMS Tamar, are patrolling the waters around the island to monitor the situation. Two French patrol boats are also now in the area. Well, France has threatened to cut off electricity to the island, which began issuing licences to French boats under a new system last week. The fishermen say their rights are being unfairly restricted. Well, as you can see, Jersey is far closer to the French coast than it is to the south coast of England. And earlier this morning, around 60 boats approached Jersey's main harbour at St Helier with what was described as a sea of red lights and flares. Our correspondent Robert Hall has been on a boat himself off the Jersey coast near to the fishermen.
What has happened is that the French are basically sitting off the entrance to St Helier harbour. This is something of an impasse. They're not blockading it per se, but they're making their presence felt, they say, and they're going to continue to do so, as many as possible of them, until the Jersey government come up with a response. The basic situation is that the French say the new system of Jersey licensing, allowing them into Jersey's territorial waters post-Brexit, is not up to the mark. It's not adequate. It makes their life impossible, they say, and it damages their livelihoods. I spoke to a young fisherman a short time ago who said 80% of the French fleet could be put out of business by this. So they're determined to fight it. They're going to stay here for as long as they possibly can. Post that, I suspect there'll be further discussions about whether they mount further protests. They did pull back to allow a cargo boat out of the harbour. They say they don't want to make matters worse, but they are determined that this matter needs resolving.
Robert Hall reporting. Well, Jersey's Minister of External Affairs, Senator Ian Gorst, explained what had happened as the fishermen arrived in the island's waters.
The vessels came in the early hours of the morning. Our main ship that brings in supplies arrived safely. It's had a slightly delayed departure, but so far the protest or demonstration has been peaceful, which is what we would have expected. We've always known that the transition from the previous arrangement that we had with France over fishing rights in Jersey waters to the new post-Brexit trade deal was going to be difficult and going to be challenging. There's a bureaucratic process of providing information. But what's important is that we respond firmly to threats, and we've heard disproportionate threats from Paris and now with a potential blockade. But the answer to the issues that are being faced are, without doubt, talking and diplomacy.
Senator Ian Gorst. So French fishermen are protesting about difficulties they've had in obtaining licences, which means they're being prevented from operating in British waters. Under an agreement with the EU, French boat operators must show a history of fishing in the area to receive a licence for Jersey's waters. Jersey has sole power to issue the licences, which came into effect last week. On Friday, 41 permits were granted to French fishing vessels that were equipped with technology which means they can be located. But the French government claimed the list of approved ships came back with additional requirements that had not been previously discussed. Here's the reaction to what's happening in Jersey from the president of the Jersey Fishermen's Association, Don Thompson.
I think when the Minister for the Sea, Madame Annick Girondin, makes a threat to sever the electricity supply, that has to be taken very seriously, whether she intends it or not. It was made in public. The consequences of that would obviously be very severe. The freight ship that carries the food to the island is pretty much trapped in port there. That's our food supply line for 95% of the produce that comes to the island. So it can't be taken too lightly. Is it just a show of strength? I don't know, but what I do know is that fishermen are very angry to hear that our own government considers that it's appropriate to go out and have negotiations on board a boat with a French fisherman.
Don Thompson. Romain Davaudet has fished in the waters off Jersey for 15 years. He explained why he's protesting.
We want to show that we are here, and we want to show to our politics and Jersey government that they cannot put us out of an historical fishing area like Normandy waters. This is Les Écréous, this is Jersey waters. We have been fishing there for thousands of years, maybe. So it's not normal to put us out of this fishing area.
French fisherman Romain Davoudet.